Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's FPL Pundit here, and this is Kneejerk, and this is my reaction to Game Week 2 and all that happened. Okay, so before we proceed, if you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and please try to like interact with my channel a lot. Ask questions, ask questions in the comment section. Please let's interact. Let's talk. Okay, so how did your game week go? How did your game week go? Well, as for my game week was terrible. My game week was terrible, and this was worse than I performed last week. Last week I wasn't satisfied with my points. I had 71 points, although I was above average, but I wasn't satisfied, and I tried to like set my team in a way that I can do better this week. But unfortunately, I'm currently below the average points, and it was a terrible game week for me. So it all started when on Saturday when Target and Bailey blanked for me. They didn't start the match, they didn't play the match, so that's like two players down, and I was left with 9 players in my lineup. Guaita was awesome for me. It was one of the best decisions I made in last week's game week. I had to put him over Martinez, and he actually delivered. I had that's Guaita. Van Dijk was able to get me clean sheets. Simicas got me a goal and an assist and clean sheet as well. Ward Prowse, Salah, Son were all blank. Son was my captain, and it's actually funny that I took at that minute I took away the captain from Salah and gave it to Son because I felt Salah. I felt I was quite jinxed about the whole Salah record against Burnley, and I think and I was kind of affected by it. So even at that, still Son too also blanked, and it was even worse for Son because he didn't even play up to 90 minutes. So there was no hope for him to even score later on because he was taken off before 90 minutes. Bailey had an hamstring, so he didn't play the match. He was not even in the lineup. Tuni, whom I had substituted in for Cavani, disappointed me, and I would say this was like the biggest disappointment, the biggest wrongest decision I made ahead of game week 2. Now, if you watch my previous video, I was talking about taking out Cavani, and I had options of Tuni or Lukaku because they were already on my watch list. And for some reasons, I felt Chelsea might not start Lukaku ahead of Arsenal, and it could come from the bench. And probably it's just better to bring in someone who is going to start and would likely do something. But I think I was wrong about that. Lukaku started and even scored, and this is Kneejerk, and I think I'm going to be bringing in Lukaku right now. And that's not just the only thing that's going to be happening in my team right now. I most likely will be using my wildcard this week, like in short, probably right now. But I don't want to make any decision based on impulse. I don't want to just overreact because of how bad my game week has gone. I just want to be I just want to still be confident in myself. I want to still be confident in my team, and I don't but while I'm trying to keep the confidence, while I'm trying to make sure I don't make rash decisions, it is also important that I make the right decisions. Not using my white card right now is not necessarily a bad decision, and it's not necessarily a good decision. It just depends on if my team right now is ready for white card. But looking at it, we still have many more game weeks, up to like 15 games ahead, and using my white card right now might be like a bad idea. It might be like too early to start using my white card, considering the fact that it's just game week 2. My team is not that bad, but some of these players are not exactly finding favor in the sight of their coach. Good is not playing and is in my defense. So now imagine I have 3 defenders starting in my lineup, and one of them is not playing. And I cannot even, and that means even if I have someone from my bench that has a point and is not a defender, there is no way he can make it to my team. So now looking at Cody is playing Manchester United next. Would it be wise for me to bring in Cody? No, because he's not going to even have clean sheets. And Target now is still not sure to play next week. So these are the things I'm actually considering to decide if I'm going to use my white card this week or not. But I just also want to be patient enough for the game week to completely finish, because we still have one more fixture left, and that is West Ham against Leicester City. I have Madison, I have Iheanacho, and I'm very open for them, and I'm hoping they can be able to push my team upwards and take me above the average points. But if they're going to take me above the average points, I would need at least 10 points from both of them combined, or 15 points from both of them combined, which is possible, which is attainable. And let's just hope Iheanacho starts tomorrow, because if he doesn't start, it's actually going to be a problem for me in my team too. This is one of the most this is one of the most this is one of the major things that affected me in game week 1. Many of my players were not starters. They didn't start the match, and in game week 2 it has kind of affected me again. But right now I'm taking out Tony and bringing in Lukaku, because eventually I was going to bring in Lukaku after game week 2. That was my plan. I was supposed to bring him in. Initially I planned on bringing him around game week 4, thinking it was not going to start. But like I said in my previous video when it was in my watch list, I said knowing the right time to bring in Lukaku is dependent on the news. So it is based on what the news says. That's when we're going to know the right time to bring in Lukaku. So the last video I made, I brought in Tony. I would have brought in Lukaku, but I was like, let me just wait for after game week 3. Tony might do something. Let me just wait for after game week 3, and I'm going to bring in Lukaku, which I just did now. I just did that now. I brought in Lukaku, and now I have Tony and Lukaku. I took out Iheanacho, and hopefully Iheanacho scores. And if he doesn't score, fine. But the reason why I left Tony and took out Iheanacho is that I'm kind of having this belief that I would still use my wild card this week, but I want that to be dependent on. I just want to make sure I make the right decisions. So I think I'll be throwing out the question, guys. What do you think? Should I use my wild card yet, or I should just hold on for another game week and see how my team goes? Or if you think this is the right time for me to use my wild card, please tell me in the comment section below. And if you think I should hold on and not use my wild card yet, please tell me also in the comment section below. If you think I should take points hits to bring in new players rather than use my wild card, please also let me know in the comment section below. So I have Lukaku locked in my team right now. Definitely is going to be my top striker. I don't have any top striker prior to now. I now have a top striker. Is going to be Lukaku, and at least I already have him before his price goes up. So I also want you guys to also consider something that if you're going to be making any transfer ahead of the next game week, you should start doing that now or tomorrow after the last match, because anytime from Tuesday morning, when managers are making a lot of transfers and adjusting their team, prices of players will start going up. For example, we could see I'm predicting Reece James's price to go up probably with 0.1 or 0.2 because of his performance this week, and it looks like he's going to be a starter for Tuchel. He was a starter, and he just has to keep the consistency. So and I think he's going to be getting a lot of assists. With his link-up play with Lukaku has been fantastic. If you watch Chelsea against Arsenal, his link-up play with Lukaku was fantastic. So I might even consider bringing Reece James to my team, as I don't have any Chelsea defender, and Chelsea are solid defensively. 2 clean sheets in 2 matches. That is awesome. Kudos to Chelsea. So not even having a Chelsea defender is actually a very, very bad thing, being a Chelsea fan. Looks like I didn't even trust my team after all. So quickly, let's look through the game week and do a review of how the game week has been so far. So on Saturday, Liverpool played first against Burnley. They won 2-0, and this was actually my prediction. My prediction was right about Liverpool against Burnley. I predicted Liverpool to come out with a win, but with not more than 3 goals to come through the match, and this came to pass. So my prediction for Aston Villa against Newcastle was actually wrong. I was expecting both teams to score. I was expecting more like a draw, a big drama in the game, but Aston Villa were able to win this one and even get a clean sheet across. Crystal Palace Brentford, this was quite predictable for me, but I didn't know this was going to end in a goalless draw. I was expecting goals in this match, but it looks like both teams were actually very conservative and didn't want to concede. So that was that. I didn't actually watch the match. And as for Leeds Everton, I actually saw this comment. I said in my last video that Leeds still has a lot of work to do with their defense. The same thing with Everton. They have a lot of work to do with their defense, because looking at the first match, they conceded. Okay, I think they conceded just one goal, but even at that, they were not really solid defensively like that, and that happened against Leeds. They played 2-2 against Leeds. I said it was going to be a goal galore match, and um, that was actually correct. 4 goals in a match, that's a lot. Then Manchester City, Norwich, this was predictable for me as well. I said it, Man City would win with not less than 3 goals. Brighton, Watford, my prediction was right about that. So I said it wasn't going to be an easy match. It was going to be quite difficult for Brighton for both sides, and but actually gave Brighton to win the match. I was in favor of Brighton for the match. So that was how the games on Saturday went. And I only had players from Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Brentford. No player from Man City in my team, no player from Everton in my team, or Leeds, and no player from Brighton or Watford. And even my player from Aston Villa, none of them played. So on Saturday, I only had Liverpool players play for me. And on Sunday, I had Ward Prowse rather, and it looks like bringing in Ward Prowse over some other transfers was actually wrong initially, and I just had to bring him at that time because of his set piece ability. That was actually why I had Ward Prowse in my team, and at 6 million, they were actually better bargains out there, but I couldn't just make more than one transfer because I had just one transfer, and even yet, I still wasted that one transfer and brought in Tony instead of Lukaku. So my prediction for Southampton Manchester United came true. I said Man U would find it difficult to beat Southampton. In short, I said this match was going to be a draw, and that was exactly what happened. Although I didn't actually exactly predict Bruno to blank, but I'm actually glad that he did. At least not every other manager that have him would be happy this week. So for Wolves and Spurs, I actually saw this coming to be a difficult fixture, but Spurs were able to edge out of this one, which is cool, And I wasn't just happy that Son was substituted because, you know, until 90 minutes, a player still has that chance of putting in a goal. A player like Son still has that chance of putting in a goal. So Kane was brought on for Son, and Kane didn't really do anything in the match, but that was that about it. And the highlight of the day is Arsenal Chelsea. My prediction for Arsenal Chelsea was just perfect, despite being a Chelsea fan. And it wasn't just about sentiment, it was just obvious. Chelsea has a better squad, better coach, better everything. So definitely they were going to get past Arsenal easily. The match wasn't difficult. I watched the match, it wasn't difficult. Arsenal just had a few chances. They were trying to capitalize on a particular wing, which Chelsea was solid defensively, midfield, and in all ramifications through the match. And Lukaku was also able to get a goal, which actually paid off for most managers that bought him. He was the fourth most transferred player ahead of Gameweek 2, and now I have him in my team. He's part of my squad now, and he's my top striker. So tomorrow we have West Ham and Leicester City playing. So I have 2 players to help redeem my team. So far I'm below average. I have 39 points, while the average so far is 45, and this actually breaks my heart. It is disappointing, and my game week rank is just very low. 5.1 million out of almost 7 million players, and my overall rank currently is at uh 3.6 million. My overall points, I have just 110 points. So hopefully next game week is going to be better. I still have Madison and Iheanacho in my squad, and they might, considering how they perform tomorrow, it might be a game changer for my team in game week 2. But until then, just keep your fingers crossed and stick to my YouTube channel. If you are new, subscribe, and watch out for my next video. I'm going to be making my watch list for game week 3. So guys, don't forget what I said. What do you think I should do to my team? What player do you think I should bring into my team? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys.